Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Louisa Liu. Thank you for joining us. In the past 2 months since the Sichuan earthquake, we have witnessed so many moving stories of disaster relief. Today, the subject of our story is the 13-year-old Lu Qingtan, who recently suffered the death of her grandfather. Still grappling with grief but motivated by other volunteers, Lu Qingtan is making the best use of her abilities at Tzu Chi Sichuan Point in Luosui.
Putting on gloves and a mask, 13-year-old Lu Qingtan completes the look with a volunteer vest and heads to the soup kitchen. Her job of the day is filling up lunch boxes and carrying them to the service point. Making several trips to and fro, Lu Qingtan considers such labor to be spiritually rewarding.
People from Taiwan have come all this way to give us aid and are helping children with their studies. So that's why I wanted to come and help to give a bit of myself.
Doing as much as she can, Lu Qingtan is still recovering from personal loss. Her maternal grandfather passed away just 2 weeks ago. But as soon as the funeral was over, she pulled herself together and came to volunteer at Tzu Chi's service point.
Here we are experiencing a shortage of volunteers. There used to be a junior volunteers leader called Lu Qingtan here. We both have cell phones, so she called to say that all the junior volunteers have gone back to school, so there's a lack of helpers. That's why I rushed here immediately after the funeral.
Suffering the loss of her house in the earthquake as well as the death of her grandfather, Lu Qingtan willed herself out of sorrow. Thanks to the Tzu Chi relief teams, she has learned to nurse her inner pain by caring for others. For instance, when she hears that a volunteer is under the weather, she immediately sets aside her tasks to take care of the matter.
May I please have some throat lozenges? A volunteer had his stroke and I want to get some drugs for her.
Sure, let me find some for you.
When you take the initiative to approach her, she will warm to you. Give her care and she will reciprocate in the same way.
Delivering the medication, Lu Qingtan reminds the volunteer to take them on time. For Lu Qingtan, in serving others, she is able to open herself up and successfully emerge from personal grief.
Another person who discovered the benefits of serving others is Mr. Lu Qingtan. A restaurant owner from Taiwan, he quit his job to serve 2 terms in the earthquake-damaged region of Sichuan. The much-loved volunteer has been cooking meals for disaster victims for a combined total of 2 months.
Keeping a watchful eye over Tzu Chi's soup kitchen in Jiuling village, volunteer cook Lu Qingtan has been here twice since the China earthquake struck, for a combined total of 2 months' service.
Thank you, Master Zhen Yan, for giving me 2 chances to come to Sichuan. I have seen the purity of all the volunteer cooks and junior volunteers.
A restaurant manager from Taiwan, Lu quit his job to serve disaster victims. On his first tour, he served for a month before being urged to take a break by concerned Master Zhen Yan. Unable to part with Sichuan people for long, he was soon back for another term and has been here for 29 days.
When I said I was going back to Taiwan, the junior volunteers gathered around, telling me not to go. They said they'd have nothing to eat if I left. That made me break down in tears.
From morning until night, the volunteer cooks' never-ceasing hands help provide hot food for quake victims. While satisfying other people's appetites, Lu says his heart is full of richness and gratitude.